does punishment actually work? There was a 2002 meta-analysis that looked at 442,000 offenders in Canada. And it looked at if punitive approaches to offending, such as incarceration or boot camps, actually worked. And what they actually found was that harsher punishments didn't reduce reoffending. In fact, punishments increased reoffending by 3%, especially if that was a long custodial sentence. What this is saying is that getting tough on crime to punish offenders, it doesn't work. And so why would these violent traps be any different? A review in 2021 on 20 years of seeing the effects of smacking on children, beating them, found that rather than improving a child's behaviour, smacking actually makes it worse in the long term. Rather than violence teaching a child that they're doing wrong, they learn to accept violence and antisocial as part of normal. It just normalises violence. And rather than the safe, accepting, empathic environment I described that usually fosters personality change, violence as a means of discipline, as a means of rehabilitation, it can destroy that sense of safety in the home and turn home into a fearful, dangerous place. In reviewing the research, Duran and Ensom highlighted how corporal punishment in children actually leads to aggression, antisocial behaviour, mental health issues, addiction, less cognitive development, and the punisher is likely to actually end up going too far and injuring the child. Applied to the Saw universe, there are people who take on and become like Saw's disciples, Amanda or Detective Hoffman. They experience this spiritual awakening from the Saw traps. They're converted and they end up putting other people in those traps. And could it be argued that just like a child subjected to punitive smacking punishments, that Hoffman and Amanda have been converted into subjecting the violence that they experienced onto others, whilst being desensitized to the torturous gore that they're inflicting? What is clear is that violence is not an evidence-based means of rehabilitation, and that any change is likely to be short-term or more motivated by fear than an internal personality change.